Unfortunately, it is this very same category of growing middle strata which has increasing access to credit, which in turn exposes them to vulnerability. Because we know, just to elaborate on this point, that you get young professionals who get employed once they come out of college and go out to buy a vehicle with their second salary. And therefore, when the rate of interest ratchets up, they find that they are now unable to live up and with the installment payments. And in this regard, if I may, I would like to share with you an advice which is freely given by a character. It's a character in one of Charles Dickens' books called, the book is called David Copperfield. And there's a character in that book called Micawber, Mr. Micawber, who gives free advice to whoever cares to listen to him. This advice of Mr. Micawber says, if your annual income is £1 and your annual expenditure is £1.10, the result is misery. But if your annual income is £1 and your annual expenditure is 19 shillings and 11 pence, the result is happiness. Well, Mr. Micawber lived in those days, older days in England, when those who found themselves in debt were not only made to pay their debts, but they were actually arrested, incarcerated on a penal island called Australia today. They were sent far away from This leads to the logical conclusion that if these strata of consumers, an important component of the economy, of course, neither save up money nor desist from rampant borrowing, we will head towards economic disaster ourselves. Accordingly, I trust that this Congress will engage in fruitful deliberations leading to the emergence of resolutions which will seek to soften the blows of these hard times on the general membership. Once more, your theme, social justice through decent work, provides an ideal conceptual platform for deliberations in the context of the current global financial challenges that I've just outlined. The notion of social justice is a key element of the prosperous society we all seek to build. Because democracy is a fragile entity. It is a product of society's efforts and needs to be built on social justice, which in turn underpins peace, stability, and social cohesion. Especially at a time like this in our country, the key to building democracy is social cohesion. Implied in this concept is the need for society to access basic social services to enhance the quality of life of its people. Similarly, decent work essentially means permanent work as opposed to casualization of labor, which subjects the workers or working people to a life of uncertainty and anxiety. Now, you know, this issue of casual work, one of the smart Alex says, I am myself a casual laborer because I have less than a year served as President of the Republic. That's what they say. Well, it encases the idea of good working conditions which ultimately work out to a fulfilling working environment. Equally, it is common knowledge that the creation of employment is a challenge that must be tackled by government and all important social partners. We are equally aware that since the onset of democracy in 1994, our country has been undergoing a difficult process of freeing itself from unemployment and other binding constraints inherited from the past. One of the requisite support systems for the building of democracy in South Africa is the defeat of the indignities of unemployment, lack of skills, poverty, and other related social malaise. This huge task has to be undertaken against the background of the unrelenting exigencies of a fast globalizing world where shortage of skills to adapt to the new global economy freezes developing countries out of the orbit of development. In this regard, all stakeholders from government, civil society, and business must take responsibility to redefine the socio-political landscape of our country. I am confident that your deliberations and resolutions will be framed by these national imperatives of building a prosperous nation to which we are all striving. Such prosperity, as we are all aware, is predicated on conscious efforts by all stakeholders in society to deepen the values of non-racialism, non-sexism, and social justice, all of which are enshrined in our Constitution. Our society is still plagued by poverty, marginalization, and underdevelopment, factors which militate against efforts to achieve the goals of reconstruction, development, and economic growth. Consequently, all of us should address these conditions, the better to advance towards the betterment of the lives of all of our people. By the same token, as a trade union federation, you consider it your duty to strive for workers with skills to meet the demands of the modern, sophisticated economic system and be employed in decent jobs. I am informed that